Los Angeles Dodgers versus Toronto Blue Jays, it all comes down to this. Game 7. The moment every player dreams of and every fan dreads. The Los Angeles Dodgers and the Toronto Blue Jays, two powerhouses separated by a single win, collide under the bright lights of Rogers Center to decide who will be crowned the 2025 World Series champion. Both clubs enter with near-identical resumes, the Dodgers at 93-69 and the Blue Jays at 94-68. And the baseball world is split right down the middle. Analytics give Los Angeles a microscopic edge at 50.3% to Toronto's 49.7%. A coin toss that reflects just how razor-thin the margins have been across this unforgettable series. The Dodgers have battled through the National League gauntlet with elite balance and star firepower, while Toronto, fueled by a home field edge and an American League best offense, has pushed them to the brink. 1 game, 9 innings, and 1 champion left standing. The Dodgers arrive as seasoned October survivors. They've been here before, forged by the pressures of countless postseason runs. Their lineup boasts 2 MVPs in Shohei Ohtani and Freddie Freeman, and their rotation has been anchored all year by the precision and poise of Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who finished the regular season with a 2.49 ERA, 201 strikeouts, and 12 wins. Manager Dave Roberts has navigated this playoff stretch like a chess master, mixing patience with aggressive bullpen calls. But as the Dodgers walk into Game 7, the biggest question mark looms large. Who starts on the mound? Officially listed as undecided, Roberts has kept his cards close, perhaps signaling an all-hands-on-deck bullpen game or a surprise opener strategy to disrupt Toronto's right-handed heavy lineup. Without a defined starter, every reliever, from setup man Evan Phillips to late-inning specialist Ryan Brazier, must be ready to shoulder the moment. This uncertainty might actually play into the Dodgers' hands. It forces the Blue Jays to prepare for a revolving door of arms, each bringing different speeds and looks. Los Angeles thrives in chaos, and Roberts has shown time and again that he's not afraid to script games around matchups rather than traditional roles. With Ohtani, Freeman, and Mookie Betts setting the offensive tone, the Dodgers' goal will be to strike first and let their bullpen manage the chaos behind them. It's a high-wire act, but one that fits the identity of a franchise that has learned to win not just with talent, but with adaptability and grit. Across the field, Toronto turns to a familiar warrior, Max Scherzer. At 40 years old, the veteran right-hander embodies postseason toughness. Scherzer may no longer have the overpowering fastball that once defined his Hall of Fame career, but he brings an unshakable edge and big-game pedigree that few can match. In his 2 World Series starts this October, he's gone 10 innings with a 4.50 ERA, 1.30 WHIP, 8 strikeouts, and 5 walks. Numbers that don't dazzle, but his presence alone steadies a young team. Manager John Schneider knows this. Scherzer's mound demeanor, his ability to sequence hitters, and his willingness to attack in pressure spots can tilt the psychological balance. If Scherzer can give Toronto 5 or 6 innings of command and composure, the Blue Jays bullpen, anchored by Kevin Gausman and Chris Bassett, both workhorses who've logged elite innings this year, will be ready to finish the job. What sets Scherzer apart at this stage of his career is his adaptability. He's learned to thrive on guile and game calling, spotting weaknesses in opposing lineups rather than relying solely on raw power. His fiery competitiveness remains unmatched, and teammates often rally around that intensity. Every pitch he throws feels like a declaration that he's not done yet, a reminder that experience still has its place in a sport obsessed with youth and velocity. If the moment calls for grit, nobody embraces it quite like Scherzer, and that may be the intangible edge Toronto needs under the bright lights of Game 7. This pitching duel is fascinating for its contrast in philosophy. Los Angeles thrives on depth and adaptability. Toronto leans on experience and structure. The Dodgers staff has carried a 3.95 ERA and 1.26 WHIP this season, built on strikeout efficiency and tight command. Yamamoto's consistency set the tone, while relievers like Yency Almonte and Joe Kelly have excelled in middle relief. Toronto, meanwhile, posted a slightly higher team ERA at 4.19, but countered with excellent control and one of the best strikeout-to-walk ratios in the league, led by Gausman's 189 Ks and Bassett's 166. It's a staff that may not intimidate with raw velocity, but one that executes with surgical precision, attacking weak spots and forcing contact. The Blue Jays' key to victory lies in limiting the Dodgers' power, a daunting task against a lineup that thrives on slugging, boasting a collective 44.1 slugging percentage with 247 home runs. What separates these staffs, though, is their identity under pressure. Los Angeles trusts its depth, often mixing and matching based on analytics and matchups, a method that allows them to stay unpredictable late in games. Toronto prefers rhythm and endurance, banking on its starters to deliver length and rhythm before turning things over to a disciplined bullpen. Both approaches have proven effective, but the question becomes which one holds up under the bright lights of Game 7. Will the Dodgers' versatility outlast Toronto's structure, or will the Blue Jays' proven steadiness prevail when every pitch carries the weight of a season? Offensively, these lineups represent two different schools of dominance. The Dodgers bludgeon opponents with brute power and plate discipline. Shohei Ohtani, baseball's global superstar, remains the centerpiece. With 55 home runs, 102 RBIs, and a .282 batting average, Ohtani's two-way brilliance may not be on display on the mound this October due to injury, but his bat remains lethal. Every at-bat he takes feels seismic. Freddie Freeman adds his trademark steadiness, a .295 average and .502 slugging percentage, while Mookie Betts, Will Smith, and Max Muncy provide constant traffic and timely thunder. This lineup doesn't just hit home runs. It grinds at bats, works counts, and wears down pitchers. When Los Angeles gets runners aboard, their ability to cash in runs with 2 outs has been the separator all season. What makes this offense so dangerous is its patience. They rarely chase outside the zone, forcing pitchers to challenge them in uncomfortable spots. Once they smell vulnerability, the Dodgers strike with ruthless precision, turning one missed location into a crooked number. Even in games where the long ball doesn't fly, they manufacture runs with line drives and hustle on the base paths. The mix of experience and swagger gives them a playoff edge. No moment feels too big, no deficit too steep. When this lineup clicks, it feels inevitable. A relentless wave of pressure that few teams in baseball can withstand for 9 innings. Toronto's offense, however, may be the most complete unit in the majors. They hit for average, power, and execute situational hitting with near perfection. Bo Bichette has emerged as the soul of this lineup. 3.11 average, 31 homers, 104 RBIs, a blend of old-school contact and modern slugging. Around him, George Springer adds 39 homers and 84 RBIs while playing the role of emotional catalyst, setting the tone early in games with aggressive swings and high-energy defense. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. provides thunder in the middle of the order, while Alejandro Kirk, when healthy, brings balance and contact at the bottom. Toronto's .333 OBP and .427 slugging percentage reflect how efficiently they convert opportunities. They don't need a barrage of home runs. They simply string together quality at-bats until a mistake comes, and they rarely miss it. What sets this lineup apart is its adaptability. They can manufacture runs through bunts and steals one night, then slug their way to victory the next. Each hitter seems to understand their role perfectly, passing the baton instead of trying to be the hero. That unselfish, team-first mentality has fueled their postseason run, where timely hitting has outweighed raw power. When the Blue Jays start rolling, it feels like wave after wave of pressure on opposing pitchers, forcing mistakes through sheer persistence. It's a lineup built for October, disciplined, confident, and dangerous from top to bottom. In recent form, the Dodgers have been sharp when it matters most. Over their last 5, they've gone 3-2, alternating blowouts and grinders. They stole Game 6 with a crisp 3-1 win in Toronto, sparked by clutch pitching and Ohtani's opposite field blast that silenced Rogers' center. Before that, they stumbled in Game 5, a 6-1 loss. But their resilience continues to define this group. Toronto, meanwhile, has gone 2-3 over the same stretch, and their offense has been streaky. They've scored just 5 total runs in their 3 losses, a pattern that must change if they hope to dethrone the Dodgers. Still, playing at home has been a fortress advantage for Toronto. They're 54-27 at Rogers Center, and the energy in the building for Game 7 will be unmatched. The fans know this might be their team's most complete chance at a championship since 1993, and they'll make every pitch feel louder. Los Angeles enters with the quiet confidence of a team that's been here before, accustomed to navigating elimination pressure. Toronto, on the other hand, feeds off emotion and rhythm. When their bats wake up early, they become nearly impossible to contain. This balance between poise and passion could shape the night's flow, with each team trying to impose its tempo. The opening innings will reveal which club settles first into its identity, and from there, the smallest spark, a double in the gap, a diving play, or a crowd-silencing strikeout, could tilt momentum for good. In the standings, these two squads couldn't be more evenly matched. Los Angeles clawed through the National League West to finish first at 93-69, 3 games ahead of San Diego and 12 clear of San Francisco. Toronto ruled the American League East with 94 wins, narrowly edging the Yankees and Red Sox. Their paths converged in this fall classic, and now both sit 1 win from immortality. The Dodgers are chasing their 2nd title in 5 years, validation for a roster built on star spending and development harmony. The Blue Jays are chasing history, a chance to bring the trophy north for the first time in over 3 decades. It's dynasty versus destiny, and there's no scriptwriter bold enough to predict how it ends. Both clubs have endured adversity, reshaped identities, and embraced October's chaos to arrive here. Los Angeles, with its blend of global icons and homegrown talent, represents the polished machine of modern baseball. Toronto, the spirited challenger fueled by belief and resilience, thrives on collective momentum. The tension between those narratives gives Game 7 its heartbeat, a culmination of grit, patience, and moments that define legacies. By the time the final out settles, one dugout will erupt in euphoria, while the other is left to replay every decision, every missed chance, under the cruel light of what might have been. Injuries have cast long shadows over both dugouts. For the Dodgers, the bullpen is battered. Kirby Yates, Michael Kopech, Tanner Scott, and Alex Vesia are all sidelined until February, thinning the late-game options. Kyle Hurt remains on the 60-day injured list. That means Roberts must get creative, likely leaning on swingmen and multi-inning arms like Ryan Pepiot or Bobby Miller in emergency roles. Toronto's depth is also tested. Alejandro Kirk remains day-to-day, but is expected to be available off the bench. Jose Berrios and Nick Sandlin are out, while Bowden Francis and Anthony Santander remain shelved until spring. These losses hit hard, particularly in the rotation, where Schneider's flexibility is limited. Every arm will be taxed, every inning precious. That's where the chess game intensifies, how managers disguise weakness with strategy. For the Dodgers, this could mean more aggressive use of openers or stretching starters an inning longer than usual, trusting their experience and defensive support to carry the load. Expect Roberts to play matchups meticulously, perhaps using young relievers in specific roles rather than high-pressure sequences. Toronto, meanwhile, may rely on creative sequencing, leaning on Gaussman's splitter early and mixing in high-leverage middle relievers like Swanson or Green to bridge the gap. The Blue Jays' formula will hinge on efficiency, fewer wasted pitches, quicker innings, and trusting the defense behind them. Injuries like these don't just test a team's depth. They test identity. The Dodgers have built their reputation on adaptability, finding ways to win even when key names are missing. The Blue Jays, meanwhile, thrive on emotion and momentum. Losing rotation anchors forces them to double down on grit. Both clubs understand that in October, health is a luxury few enjoy. Tonight, it's about who can absorb the hits and still execute under pressure, who turns adversity into an edge rather than an excuse. The X factors tonight will come down to poise, pressure, and performance in the margins. For Los Angeles, it begins with Ohtani. If he continues to control the zone and deliver early offense, he can tilt the game before Toronto settles in. Freeman's consistency will be vital in keeping the lineup balanced against Scherzer's mix of sliders and changeups. Defensively, Betts' range in right and the Dodgers' infield precision could save runs that swing the outcome. For Toronto, Bichette must be the engine. When he's locked in, he controls tempo and rallies the lineup. Springer's experience and Guerrero Jr.'s ability to punish mistakes give Toronto the knockout punch they'll need. But perhaps the true decider will be Scherzer's command. If he limits walks and avoids early traffic, Toronto's bullpen can line up cleanly for Gausman, Bassett, or closer Jordan Romano to shut the door. Still, this matchup isn't just about stars performing, it's about which team adapts faster when the game inevitably tilts. The Dodgers thrive when they dictate pace, grinding at-bats, forcing long innings, and wearing down opposing pitchers through patience. Toronto, meanwhile, feeds off rhythm and emotion, often turning one clutch hit into an avalanche of momentum. If either side blinks first, the other will seize control. Expect tense pauses between pitches, every decision magnified, every misstep echoing through the crowd. This one has the feel of a chess match disguised as a slugfest, one where instincts matter just as much as analytics. Both managers will likely play their matchups tightly, knowing a single bullpen move or pinch hit call could decide who celebrates and who walks off, wondering what slipped away. Momentum favors Los Angeles slightly, the Dodgers game. 6-win recaptured confidence, and their pitching staff looks just rested enough to execute a patchwork plan. But home field, experience, and heart can't be discounted, and Toronto owns both in spades. Expect a chess match. Roberts likely using an opener before transitioning into a steady relay of relievers, while Schneider rides Scherzer until his veteran shows signs of fatigue. The first 3 innings could determine everything. If Los Angeles grabs an early lead, their bullpen can compress the game. If Toronto scores first, the roof may come off the dome, and the Dodgers could be chasing ghosts. Both teams understand what's at stake. Every pitch, every base runner, every mound visit carries weight. The Dodgers have built their season on adaptability and late-inning resilience, while the Blue Jays have thrived on feeding off their crowd and striking in waves. It's a contrast between a team trying to extend its dominance and another desperate to protect its home turf. Expect intensity from the very first pitch, the kind that makes every fan hold their breath and every player aware that one moment of brilliance or one lapse in focus could swing the series. Statistically, the Dodgers' edge in PowerPoint .441 SLG versus Toronto's .427 and depth .825 runs scored versus 708 for Toronto paints them as the slightly more explosive offense. Their run differential and 5.2 runs per game show how quickly they can break open tight contests. Toronto's counterpunch is control, fewer strikeouts, fewer walks allowed, and smarter situational hitting. The Blue Jays win with precision. The Dodgers win with punishment. The perfect contrast for a Game 7. It's a matchup that feels poetic. Raw force against refined execution, momentum versus method. Los Angeles thrives on momentum swings. where one home run can tilt the entire rhythm of a night. Toronto, on the other hand, grinds out victories one disciplined at-bat at a time, thriving under the weight of small moments that define postseason baseball. Both styles have carried them this far, but only one will outlast the other when every mistake is magnified. In a winner-take-all setting, this contrast promises the kind of tension that baseball lives for. Prediction time, and this one's nearly impossible. Every metric says this series deserves to end in extra innings, and it might. The Dodgers' experience and lineup depth give them a minuscule statistical edge, but Scherzer's presence and Toronto's home field advantage are powerful intangibles. Expect a thriller decided by inches and instincts. Los Angeles will push early. Toronto will respond late. The difference could be a single swing. Ohtani versus Bichette, Freeman versus Springer, Yamamoto warming for a heroic relief appearance. Baseball poetry, written live. Both teams have proven their resilience under pressure, and neither seems ready to blink. The Dodgers have mastered the art of extending series, grinding through at-bats until fatigue and focus tilt their way. The Blue Jays, on the other hand, play with emotion and rhythm. Their late-game magic has become a signature. If this truly is the night Toronto closes the door, it'll come through patience at the plate and crisp bullpen execution. But if Los Angeles forces a Game 7, it'll be because their veterans found one more spark of October brilliance. Either way, expect heart-pounding moments, managerial gambles, and a finish worthy of a classic postseason reel. Final prediction: Dodgers 5, Blue Jays 4. The Dodgers capture another crown behind Ohtani's heroics and bullpen brilliance, surviving one of the most evenly matched fall classics in recent memory. Every pitch, every defensive gem, and every managerial decision has carried weight, the kind of tension only October baseball can deliver. Yet even in defeat, Toronto's fight has been unforgettable, pushing one of baseball's most complete teams to the brink. But make no mistake, no matter the outcome, this Game 7 will echo for generations. The Dodgers and Blue Jays have given baseball the series it craved: heart, heat, and history colliding on the sport's grandest stage, where legends are born and champions are defined by inches. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is Los Angeles Dodgers winner. Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments box.